Well, welcome everyone. Claude Giroux, and NHL All-Star, former teammate of mine, has been gracious enough to bless us with his presence today. How you doing, G?
Pretty good yourself.
Good, buddy. Hey, I knew how much you liked Ottawa. I didn't know you'd ever end up playing for there. What's that like, been playing for, almost your hometown team?
Yeah, I mean it's been great. Playing in Philly for so many years, I just always thought I'd finish my career there, and when it didn't look that way, and went to Florida for the end of the year last year, and then free agent. It was definitely a interesting process, but being in Ottawa, it just feels right.
Well, I
Can you
know
set the go ahead?
you're no, you got no shortage of putting up points and don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Have you noticed that if you kind of get around that point a game pace this year, you'll be at 1,000 points?
I'm aware. Some of the guys on the team, they told me that, but it's pretty cool to just think about that.
Gee, can you set the record straight on Hearst, Ontario? So Pierre LeBrun always likes to bring it up. How far is Hearst, and where is it, and how far is it from Ottawa?
So Hearst is a 10-hour drive north of Ottawa. So it's up there. It's cold. It's a small town. Lucky enough to be able to grow up there, and a lot of great memories there.
So you grew up there, like, did you have a favorite team? Like, who did you grow up watching and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a French community, and everybody lives there. Just loves Montreal Canadiens, so kind of jump on that wagon. And my family, we all cheered for them. So I was a huge fan actually, and then played them in the playoffs and learned to hate them pretty quick.
Rosie?
G, someone was saying think of a story with G or whatever, and I remember we were heading home from somewhere. I don't know if you remember this, in your car, and we had to stop off to get, some ice cream or eggs or something from a convenience store. And we're inside, and some guy runs in and says, "Whose Porsche is that outside?" And you're like, mine. And he's like, "Someone's fucking it up." And we go out onto like Walnut Street or whatever, the main street down Philly, and this semi truck, this full on tractor trailer, is trying to do a U-turn in the middle of Walnut, and he is just side swiping G's Porsche, and then he tries to back up and he's ramming into it, and he's trying not to touch these trees up in the front, not even knowing that he's just smashing up G's car behind him. And we're just standing there. I think I have like a Slurpee in my hand, just watching him just rail your truck, dying laughing. And then the funny story is when the cops came and everything else, this one cop is like, "Gee, when are you going to score?" Because it was one of those years you started off a little slow and then went straight on fire after that. And you told him, "I'm scoring tomorrow night, bet on it." And then I just was in the background like a pigeon going, "I'm going to score too." And then the next game, both of us sniped our first of the year.
I remember that. We went for dinner, and then, yeah, it was like going for get some ice cream or something at this 7-Eleven. And then this guy comes out, he's like, "Yeah, somebody's fucking up your car." And I'm just like, "No." And we're playing at 1:00 the next day against Edmonton. And it was like the 18th game of the season. Haven't scored a game yet. Everybody's on me. And then the cop goes, "When are you going to score a goal?" I'm just like, look at him. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll score tomorrow. Like, get off my case." But yeah, I remember that. Like, that was pretty nuts.
That was kind of funny, actually, seeing a tractor trailer trying to do a U-turn. Speaking of ice cream, though, talking to Braden Shen, he said, I don't know if it was your first year or not, but one of your best years of your career, he said that you ate, was it Cold Stone Creamery ice cream every single day of the year? You packed on 20 pounds, but put up like 95 points or something like that.
Well, I wouldn't say 20 pounds. He put 20 pounds because I was following him, and we were both playing pretty good. So we just kept going, and we had a Cold Stone. He was staying at my house that year. So we go to dinner, and then we drive by Cold Stone, and he'd be the first one to be like, "Hey, we should get some ice cream." I'm like, "Of course, let's go, buddy." And then, yeah, he was thick that year. He was playing a little overweight, but he was a beast.
Well, those Shen boys aren't scared to go after Desi, and they have trouble keeping the weight off. But I was questioning that, saying 20 pounds on G. I think you'd notice that. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, you might need to get on that in years to come if you ever hit a slump, which doesn't look too of anything that you're going to see in the future from you based on your play so far. No slowing down, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we have a great team, playing great players, and we have very young team. You know, I'm a little older. They make me feel young, but the talent and the skill and the speed that we have, it's been fun to play with.
Gee, can you believe it's been 17 years and 1,000+ NHL games since Bobby Clarke sort of forgot who he's taking in the 06 draft, man? Like I'm 33, I'm an 89 born, and I can't believe how quickly time has flown in your career, man.
Yeah, I feel like a couple of years ago was my first NHL game, and everything's a blur. And a lot of great years. You know, the years playing with Rosie, we had a lot of fun, and you know, it's going down way too fast right now.
Do you have any good Rosie stories?
Oh boy.
Let's hear it. Let's fucking hear it. This guy tells me he's a beauty. So gee, he's actually coming down to Toronto January 27th, and luck would have it, it's the Ottawa Senators visiting the Toronto Maple Leafs. So we're going to be two belligerently drunk pieces of shit in the alumni box watching your game, but we need to hear a Jay Rosehill story here.
Well, probably my favorite was start of the year party. I had the whole team over at my house, and we had a pool upstairs outside, and then it was about 8 o'clock, and then Rosie got on the side of the pool, and he just yelled, "All right, time for the wives and girlfriends to leave and the boys to get after it." And he just this cannonball, and it got really awkward, and like we're laughing because that was outrageous, but you know, that was probably my favorite memory of this guy. Do you remember that?
I do. That team was so young, and we like to, you know, we were a tight team too, and we wanted to go out and have fun, and we bonded well, and we didn't go too hard, and we did the right things and picked our spots. But I'm still under the impression that they got rid of Hartnell on the Flyers just to get him away from you, because they were just like, I just don't know about these two together, and they just needed to split you two up because we were having too much fun on that in that town with that young team that everyone got along so damn good. They're good memories, all right.
Yeah, that group was tight, and Hartsey is one of the main reasons. I don't know. I don't think he got traded because of that. Terrible scoop by you, but but you know, we were a tight group, and every time we had a chance to hang out and play darts or go play pool or bowling, and we were doing it. So we had a great time.
Imagine Rosie as an NHL insider. That would scare the fucking shit out of me anyways.
Yeah, that was a terrible scoop.
My takes are always hot, boys. My takes are always hot.
Oh, they're brutal. What do you miss most about Philadelphia, G? Like, obviously, tremendous career. I think it ended perfectly with everything that happened. I was watching your return back. It was like somebody was chopping onions around you because you're starting to let it go a bit. But I understand it. Like, what do you miss the most about Philadelphia? It's been a crazy, tremendous ride.
Yeah, I mean, for 15 years straight, or 14, it's, you know, August comes and getting ready to go to Philly, and you know, I know the place very well, and the fans and the organization, and it's you know, right now playing with Ottawa, it's awesome, but it was definitely a transition early on, just because it's just not Philly, right? So you know, that's all I knew, really, you know, since I'm 20 years old. You know, Philly was my team. I thought I was going to end my career there. So when it was my last game, which I knew was my last game, it was also my 1,000th game. So that night we had the ceremony for 1,000th game, and it was really emotional. I was trying to keep it together. Had a terrible game, couldn't focus on the game, and then when it ended, it was I don't know, it was kind of a weird night.
Yeah, it's still been interesting seeing you in a Senators uniform, because we've been so accustomed to seeing you as a member of the Philadelphia Flyers, but you guys have been playing some much better hockey as of late. Can you take us behind the scenes? Like, when did it become real for you? Of course, you went to the Florida Panthers, had a good run there post deadline, but when did it come real for you in terms of being an Ottawa Senator, wanting to be an Ottawa Senator? Was this something that maybe even before you were drafted in junior, you're like, man, you know, one day I would love to be an Ottawa Senator, possibly?
No, first time I really thought about it and thinking that I would go play there was literally after the season last year. And you know, free agent, you don't know where you're going. You're trying to see what your options are. And the more and more I thought about Ottawa, it just made sense. And I liked the group. they had a great second half the year before, and you know, they have a lot of young players that are going to be great players. So I just wanted to be a part of that, and you know, we're having a lot of fun here. A lot of similarity to Philly back in the day. We're a tight group. We like to hang out with each other. Like they pick on me a lot because I'm old, but I can take it, so it's not too bad. But no, it's awesome.
Gee, we'd be remiss if we didn't touch on some kind of Maple Leaf program here with the show we do, but obviously playing against them all the time, being in their division now and everything else. What can you take away after playing them a few times, seeing their stars, seeing what they're made of right now? Do you got a take on where they're at as a team right now and what it's like to play them?
Yeah, I think we played the second game of the season against them, I think, and you know, it's hard for me to say. I don't watch hockey all that much, so obviously I look at the stats and the scores and stuff. But you know, I'm pretty excited to have the rivalry, the Ontario rivalry, to get going here. I'm sure we're gonna play them a lot second half of the season here, so I'm very excited to get this thing going against them.
So, G, you can't comment on this, but in 42 career games against the Leafs, you have 43 points. So, Rosie, for prop bets for that day on the 27th, we're looking at Claude Giroux because he dominates the Leafs. You had 1-1 in that meeting back the second game of the season. What is it about Toronto that seems to bring the best out of you? Because I remember watching you specifically with Philadelphia. It just seemed like every time you played the Leafs, you always brought it.
Well, it's Toronto, and a lot of the games we play in Toronto, it's Hockey Night in Canada, and those games, for some reason, you grew up watching them, and they're just easy to get up and go play the game. So, and I think Toronto were matching Rosie against me, so that's pretty that's pretty much it.
That's points night.
My plus minus wasn't that bad in that league, G.
I'm just kidding, bro.
G, last one for me. What do you think of this whole Ryan Reynolds thing? Obviously, it's been a big topic of conversation in Ottawa the last little while.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, he came to one of the games, and we didn't know he was coming. And when he went on the big screen, and like the whole crowd just went nuts. And I'm like, what are they cheering about? And then I look up, and he was there. You know, it's exciting. I mean, there's a lot of things happening right now that we don't know about. You know, the sale of the team and stuff. It's I think we're excited for it to be done, and we don't have to hear about it too much. So, I mean, it's out of our control, whatever happens. So for us, it's we just got to get back in the playoff position, and whatever happens. So, but having a name like him involved, it's definitely exciting.
I imagine that would be cool, having a celeb like that. He's kind of one of the Hollywood good guys with absolutely zero negativity around his name or reputation. So that would be very cool for the game of hockey, I think. But G, we know how busy you guys are on the road, and we appreciate you taking your time to come out and talk on our show a little bit. And good luck tomorrow in that Junior B barn with shadows and dark lighting. I'm
actually excited to play it, but yeah, thanks, bro.